You obviously have a lot of value to share, and your podcast would be great. But there are so many people starting podcasts and trying to be gurus that haven't actually achieved anything in life. What would you say to those people? What do you think about that? Should they, put down the camera for now and go and actually do something with their life?
Intention. It's about intention. So are you creating content because you want to make money? Perfect. Make sure your audience knows that you're creating content and that this is the way that you make money. There's no shame in it. But if you're going to present an image that isn't real and authentic, people are not going to vibe with you, and you are not going to enjoy it. You may fall into the illusion and the lie that you're going to enjoy it short term, but long term, you're a hypocrite. And acting takes a lot of fucking effort. And if you're always acting, if you're always, the character's always turned on, then you're not going to live a happy life. So become that which you want to personify, right? And be proud of. If you become somebody that you're proud of publicly, you're going to display that person because you're proud of that person. If you're not, work on the things that you know are going to elevate your self-esteem. And it's not just making money. There's more to life than just that. There's plenty of, I don't even talk about, my message is mostly about making money. I talk about whatever the fuck I talk about. I wouldn't even say, maybe money's like 20% because it's important, because I happen to be in this space, but it's just one building block to the entire equation.
Yeah, I mean, something we found is having those conversations all the time just gets boring because it's the same thing again and again. The information is very simple, but the person behind it and the story that you just talked about, the come up, that's what makes it interesting, coming from a person that's actually got those anecdotes and can talk about the journey along the way. I think that's what a lot of these gurus young gurus don't have. We know a few, don't we?
I think everyone should make content though. I think even if you're not where you want to be, as long as you're not pretending within that content, I think there's a beauty in making content.
Show the journey
while you're on the come up, or being truthful to who you are and talking to people who are a couple of years behind you, or whatever. So I don't think it's a case of go make money then make content. I think it needs to be together in
I
parallel.
think it's people taking the wrong message from Luke and my dad and that.
Yeah,
they think I should do what they're doing rather than do what they're teaching.
Yeah, and it's comparison is the killer of joy. For you to assume that with 4 years of entrepreneurial experience, never having read a finance book, never having balanced a checkbook, that you are going to be in the same place financially and in business than me, it's delusional. For me to assume that I'm going to be in the same investment situation, that I'm going to have the same investment thesis and the same high win rates as some of the top fund managers in the world is delusional because I don't have the experience. So what do I have to do? Go get the experience. You can't cheat it. You can't cheat it. Like, you could cheat your way through school. You could cheat your way through lying to your parents. You could cheat, but it's like fighting. It's like the gym. You got to show up. And if you don't show up, the moment that you have to prove yourself, you fall. So if you want to be a real entrepreneur, go actually start a business. Go work for somebody. Go be a number 2. Go be a number 3 in a company. Figure out the basics of accounting. Like the simple shit. And then from there, you gain the confidence to what? To talk about what you know. Not to talk about what you've heard. Talk about what you know with conviction.
I think it's that long-term vision, isn't it? Rather than just thinking what's going to make me the money in the short term, what's going to make me a better person, have those stories, and the 10-year vision versus the 2-year vision.
When you walk into a room with successful people that have money, people that don't need your money, they're not going to sit down and be interested about you telling them how you were able to make an extra whatever and your ROI and your return. Maybe in the business context, yes. People care about your stories. People care about your experiences. People care about who you are as an individual. This idea that you can walk into a room with $100,000 watch and impress guys that were wearing $100,000 watch is just not realistic, because that's not how they think. Because money is no longer a priority. That's the brokey mindset. That's where, because they place money here because they don't have it. When you have it, you place other things. You know what's hard to get? Experiences. You know what's hard to get? A loyal wife. You know what's hard to get? A healthy body. That's the thing that these people admire.
Yeah, one of the things I like about you as well is you always remain the student, even though you know as much as you do. In Capital Club, you go and talk to all of these different, very successful people across the world. What are some of the things you've learned from them that you didn't necessarily know maybe last year?
The best conversation that I had in money talks was with this guy that has never made content on the internet, who's a real estate guy, a real estate developer, and he made a couple $100 million with commercial real estate in Malaysia, Singapore, countries in the APAC region. And I told him, I was like, hey, you're sitting on a couple $100 million, like what's next? You're usually, hey, well, I got this plan, I'm gonna take this to the billions. And he looked at me and said, Luke, I spent the last 20,000 hours learning how to be a great entrepreneur. I'm gonna spend the next 20,000 hours learning how to be a great father. So his entire life mission changed completely, because once you master one game, you realize that there's other games to master. If you're only playing one game, then you're missing out the fullness of life. So very, very wise people that are where we want to be, and they get there and they give us clues as to how we should redirect our path. And it's really interesting. So sitting down with just older people, dude, that have gone where we want to go, and listening to them and realizing that you gotta become a master of multiple areas of life in order to get it.
You want to be a father?
Not now. I want to travel to every country in the world first.
Okay. How's that going?
I'm at 62.
Okay.
So pretty good.
How many countries are there?
I think I got another 100 plus to go.
Right, okay.
Maybe
That's pretty good
120.
though. 62 is pretty.
Yeah, but it's a lot of these, like, I haven't been to Africa. I went to Morocco, that's it. But I haven't been to the rest of Africa. So that's a couple dozen countries. A little bit of South America still missing. Most of the Middle East still missing. Most of Asia still missing. So I got Europe pretty on lock, North America pretty on lock. We still got some traveling to do. Have you guys do much traveling or not?
We try and do as much as we can, yeah. Especially
with the
Here in
podcast
Europe,
and that.
though, you get some good trips too.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think we take it for granted as well because we're always here.
Yeah.
Americans will come over and they'll be like, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Italy and France, and like we can jump on a plane and be there in 2 hours. But people that live here don't do it as much because we kind of don't see it as cool or impressive. We see because you don't get on a plane for very long. There's a thing in our mind that goes, that's not a real trip. But yeah, we're trying now. I've been to quite a few places in Europe this year, and
Yeah, we're talking about moving to Dubai in the future.
Good.
Me and Tom.
yeah.
I would like Clyde to come as well, but I think he's gonna stay here.
Yeah, nah, too many ties, man. Too many ties.
I feel you, brother.
He's got a little dog.
Too many chains.
Little son.
Yeah.
No, Europe's cool though. Where's your favorite place that you've been in?
Italy.
Part of the world. Italy.
Yes. There's a reason why the monarchs lived there. Why the ancient wise lived there. Greece, Rome,
You've been to Switzerland?
Italy. Switzerland's nice.
I think that's very nice. Yeah.
Very nice. Albania, great place as well. Montenegro, Bosnia, that entire the Balkan region, incredible.
Do you ever worry you'll get too distracted about visiting all these countries, and then you look up and you're 40 and too late maybe to have kids? I know you can have kids at 40.
I'll have kids until I'm 80, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a G.
what happens though when they're like 20 and then you can't go and do stuff with them, or you can't play with them when they're
Why
10?
can't I play with them? I'm not gonna.
This man's gonna live.
You're not gonna.
This man's gonna live to 180
Bro,
years
120,
old.
How
bro.
old do you reckon
I'm
you're
gonna be
gonna
doing
live?
flex, bro. So there's a guy. I don't know if you guys were around back in the day for one of the guys that spearheaded Google ads and YouTube ads back in the day. But there was a guy called Mike Chang, which was 6-pack shortcuts. I don't know if you guys ever saw those ads of the Asian guy that used to do the ab shit.
I used to follow along.
Okay, so
yeah.
so he basically sold the business, and then he moves to Bali, and now he created something based off of flow. I think he's in his mid 40s, but the guy can do sideways splits. He plays around on the floor with his kid. He does like cartwheels. He's mobile, flexible. So I'm realizing, hey, like, dude, I'll be around. I'll be young. I'll be youthful. Thinking that you're supposed to be deteriorated and aged by the age of 70 is not normal.
So you expanding your kind of quality of life for longer versus your actual lifespan, or you're gonna do both?
Both. Yeah, lifespan, longevity, and quality of life. Absolutely.
So what's the age you're aiming to live to then?
120.
How would you deal with it if something
Love
hit
that
you?
too.
Like if
possible.
if in 2 years you woke up and something had seriously gone wrong, like you had a heart attack or you got some kind of deadly cancer, God forbid. But if that did happen, how would you deal with that? Because when you're so sure that something's not going to happen and you're so sure it's going to go a certain
But who
way,
said-
when it doesn't, what does that do to you?
Nothing, because I have no expectations. You're saying that I'm sure that I'm going to live till I'm... No, that's what I hope that I can live till 120. Maybe I don't. Who gives a fuck? So it's like I don't have any expectations. When you have no expectations, you can't be let down.
Well, I would say that your expectation was that you'll be able to play around with your kids and you'll still be having kids at 80 because you're a G and things like that. So surely there is an expectation there.
Those are like hopes. You know,
Okay.
it's like, oh, that would be nice. But
Yeah,
if it
yeah,
doesn't
no, I get
happen, your identity's not attached to it. Like if you don't become a millionaire, how old are you?
22.
If you don't become a millionaire in the next 12 months, you're a loser. Like if that's your metric, you can't gauge certain things. Certain things are outside of your control. Focus on the inputs. Don't focus on the outputs. The outputs are variables that you can't control. Like if somebody's gonna die or if you can even have kids. All these certain things you can't control. What you can control is preparing yourself that in case the opportunity does come, you actually get to enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just because obviously when Curtis had his thing the other day, it's like, you know, this is shit. This is worrying me. I don't want to do what I'm meant to be doing because I'm thinking about this, whatever it may be.
Oh, were you thinking about me?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you were worried.
Well, no, I was worried, but it wasn't stopping me from doing what I needed to do.
I'll be so pissed when you outlive us all with
I'm
your
saying
energy
this to him,
drinks and your
I
packet
think
of
that I
crisps.
will. I just have this
You're
weird.
saying it's the best
I have
ones
this
to go.
weird little thing. The good ones go. I think the people that care the most will be the first to go, and I'm going to outlive the lot of you. With
Hey,
my
why
vape
not, bro?
and my fucking Red Bull.
Hey,
Good
so
for
be
you.
it. Long live the king.
But obviously, yeah. So watch me die next week now. So but yeah.
Do you think there needs to be advancements in, you know, technology for us to actually live to 120?
No,
I
right
mean,
now you can live
Biden
to
right
120.
now, what is he, 70 something, and he's not
Yeah,
there.
but you're talking about a highly stressed individual that's been in
Yeah.
politics for 45 years and probably has a shitty diet.
Right.
So none of his conditions are optimal for quality of life. His
How-
brain
how-
is rotting.
How old's the oldest person right now? Does anyone know?
Over 120.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, there's blue zones,
it up.
areas with
it up.
with energy vortexes in different places of the world, like Italy, Japan, places where people live a lot longer.
Energy vortex. What's that?
Energy vortexes, places with higher frequencies, and they're called blue zones, better areas for living, some way, shape, or form.
117.